So in this video, I want to show you how to use a multimeter to measure the voltage and the current in a circuit. So I have set up here a really simple circuit. It's with a 9-volt battery and a light bulb. If you change this components to all and you scroll down, you can get the light bulb right here. It's one of the options when you change your components to all. So here we have a really basic circuit. It's going from the 9-volt battery in through the light bulb, back out, and back into the negative terminal. The reason I use the light bulb instead of the LED is we could use the 9-volt battery without blowing the light bulb. So if I hit play simulation, we can see that the light bulb lights up, and it's a really basic, a really simple circuit. So what I want you to do is scroll down until you find instruments. And we're going to use this multimeter right here. So we have this multimeter here. And this multimeter measures amps or current, volts or voltage, and ohms or resistance. And so it can measure all three of these things depending on what setting it's set on. So currently it's set to measure voltage. So let's talk about how we would measure voltage across one of our components. And we're going to use our light bulb as our component. So we're trying to find what is the voltage across this light bulb. And it's fairly easy to measure voltage. What we're going to do first is we're going to take the positive end of our multimeter, or we can call it a voltmeter now that we're measuring voltage. And we're going to connect it in right before the light bulb, before the positive end of our light bulb. So here it's coming in and we have it connected right before the positive end of our light bulb. Then we're going to take the negative end and we're going to connect it into the negative end of, or right after the negative end of our light bulb there. And so you can see that it's connected across the light bulb. So this is measuring the voltage across the light bulb. That means it's going to come in here and it's going to go through the light bulb and measure this voltage across here. And if I hit start simulation, we can see our voltage is at 8.73 volts. Our light bulb does have a little bit of resistance, so that's why the voltage is lower than 9 volts. And if you think about it, light bulbs produce heat. So some of our energy is going to heat energy when we have a light bulb. Okay, so if I hit stop simulation there, now I want to talk about how you measure current or amps. So when you're measuring current, you want to make sure this A is selected here, and you can change it by clicking on the voltmeter and changing the mode that it's in. So you want to pick amperage to measure the amps. And what's important about measuring amps is the ammeter needs to be connected into the flow of the circuit. So when we measured volts, we measured across the light bulb. In order to measure the amps, we need to connect this directly into the circuit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have this 9-volt battery. It's going to come in the positive end, go into the light bulb, and then it's going to come back out here. Then I'm just going to connect this over to another row. So now our current is coming in, it's going through our light bulb and back out through this other row. I'm going to connect the positive end of my ammeter into that row then, row 21. And that's positive, so I'm going to color that red. So here it's flowing in here, it's going in through the light bulb, through this wire, and now it's flowing through our ammeter, and we need to connect it back into our circuit, into the negative end of our circuit. So current has to physically flow through the ammeter in order for it to measure the amperage of our circuit. So here it's physically flowing through the device. It's going through here, and it's going through our light bulb, through this wire, then up through the positive end of the device, back through the negative, and into there. So that's how we measure current. Let's hit start simulation. We can see our current is 182 milliamps for this circuit. And so the difference, remember, between measuring current with this multimeter versus measuring voltage is voltage you can measure across something. I can just hook this in across something and it will measure the voltage across something. With measuring current, you have to wire it into your circuit. So here the battery's coming, or the current is coming from the battery through the light bulb, through this wire into our ammeter. Then it's going through, back through the negative and back into our light bulb. So that's how we would measure current and voltage using a multimeter.